Holiday breakups and the aftermath. What are you going to do? Many people get stuck during the holidays because we are so conditioned to believing that we have to be in a relationship during the holidays. And where does that come from? Mostly from the media. My daughter and I were talking the other day about some movies that she was watching, and she said, I used to wonder why you watch those corny holiday movies and everything just turns out perfectly just in time for the holiday season. She said, and I thought those are the dumbest movies. But yet she found herself watching one of those movies, and it suddenly dawned on her that the reason I watched those movies was because they were just that, feel-good movies. The problem is that so often we forget that we're actually watching something that was actually put to paper to write a script and actors hired to act out the parts in those scripts, because we get lost in the movie. And the feelings that are elicited from watching those movies are feelings like, I could be doing this too, or this should be my life. Well, today, I am going to be sharing with you a letter that I received from one of my viewers that is asking about that topic. And here it goes. She writes, "Dear Sage, last February, my boyfriend and I of 5 years separated. And while it was difficult for me, especially during the early days after the breakup, I seemed to get better after probably about 4 or 5 months. But now that the holiday season is upon us, I'm finding myself remembering all of the things that we used to do together and all of the times that we shared. In fact, one of the things that I hate to say is honestly going to be embarrassing for me is the fact that I'm going to be going home alone. Who wants to go home alone for the holidays? I mean, it's like everyone in my family has someone to share the holidays with. Even my young cousin who's in high school is bringing her boyfriend. And now I'm going to feel like the old maid that's showing up by myself, presents in hand, but no one's holding my hand. No one's asking me to fix their plate or fixing mine. No one has their arm around me as we sit by the fire and open gifts. That's what I want. But yet, I also know that the reason that we broke up, well, that's a really long story that it would take me too long to write in this letter. But let's just suffice it to say that it was a bad breakup. He did something to hurt me so deeply. And honestly, I think that has been the hardest thing. It's like I was rejected. I was tossed aside, like I meant nothing. We meant nothing. And I am struggling. Sage, how do I deal with the holidays after a breakup? I need your help. Breakups aren't easy, ever. But one of the things that you said in your letter, and for the sake of this conversation, we're going to say her name is Carla. So, Carla, we're going to answer your questions today. I'm Sage Hill, and this is the Social Sage Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about holiday breakups or dealing with breakups during the holidays. So basically, you're alone during the holidays. And in Carla's case, she's thinking ahead already. She's projecting what she already knows is going to happen or she thinks is going to happen. So she's projecting the fact that she's going to be going home alone. That was her first real point. I'm going to be going home for Christmas, home for the holidays, and I'm going to be the only one who's not showing up with someone. She even went on to say that she has a cousin that's in high school and her cousin is even going to have a date. But what I like to do right now, Carla, is just to say, just pause for a moment. What we often do is to catastrophize in our minds, right? So we start building the scenario of what's going to happen before we even get there. Christmas isn't even here yet. And while I'm not saying that, something is going to necessarily happen that you would be in a relationship by Christmas, not saying that it couldn't. I wouldn't suggest that you just run out there to find somebody just for the sake to take them home, or having someone to go home with you. But I think that you have to reset your mindset when it comes to this situation. You were hurt. In fact, you said that you were hurt really deeply by this individual. The fact that you're going to be going home alone is a whole separate issue from the relationship itself. First and foremost, we all have to do a better job of understanding that it's okay not to be in a relationship. I think that is some bygone, in fact, thought that women have to be in relationships in order to either be taken seriously in their families or to be considered significant. But in today's day and age, being single is a reality for so many people. Carla, it's so different for you these days. The expectation is not that you have to be in a relationship with a man, and you certainly don't have to be in a relationship to be happy. If this person did something that after 5 years of investing your time, your love, and your energy, they could do something that would be so devastating to you, that person didn't deserve you. He didn't deserve you. You created a life with this individual before you had a life with them. And that is a very cautionary tale that so many women need to be forewarned about. How often is it that when you get into a relationship, everything else, everything that you were doing before that relationship somehow gets tossed aside? And that includes friendships, those, occasional night out events or girls' night out events that you would go to and plan with your friends. Suddenly you're not available because you're doing something else. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket. First and foremost, single ladies, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because while you are dating and in your mind you're thinking we're exclusive, they may not be thinking the same thing. And what I mean by that is there are two ways of looking at that. So sometimes when people say don't put all your eggs in one basket, I tell my daughter that all the time. If you're dating, date. Don't just get locked into one person so quickly and there are other people out there that are vying for your attention. It's okay to date. And I mean, you have to sleep with everybody that you're going out on dates with, but get to know them so that you know who you feel the most comfortable around, who respects you the most, who you feel is best for you, and even taking those people around some of your friends so that they can get an opportunity to get a feel for those people as well and kind of help you, because sometimes our friends know us better. They know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they know the situations that we've gotten into in the past that didn't end well and why. And they can see red flags that we won't acknowledge. So that's one thing. But the other thing, when it comes to not putting all of your eggs in one basket, is this: when you have friendships and other relationships, maintain those friendships and relationships. Don't just let go of it because you've gotten into a relationship with someone else. Because at the end of the day, until you have a ring on your finger, that relationship isn't guaranteed. It's not permanent. At least when you have a ring on your finger and you've walked down that aisle, at least there's been a commitment that's been made that, like, this is us. Like, we are locked into this thing. So don't, ladies, please, Carla, I'm talking to you here. On this next go around, don't isolate yourself from other people. Because see, when you're not isolated from others, you don't feel alone. You won't feel alone. You can go to the holidays and have friends come with you. I've done that before. That's what friends are for. Those are the people that are in your life generally long term. They know you. They've had all kinds of experiences through school and everything else. Your ups, your downs, all of those things, they've experienced those with you. Those are the people that are going to be there to pick you up when you need someone to pick you up, when you need a shoulder to cry on. They're there for you. So you never want to neglect those relationships. The other thing that I would say in terms of dealing with a breakup is to not focus so much on the fact of what others are doing. Because just because you're out and about and you're seeing couples doesn't mean that they're necessarily coupled. I'm going to be honest with you. There are a lot of people that couple up during holidays because it's cold outside. Folks are looking for that snuggle buddy during the winter time that they can hang out with, because it's cold outside and it's not hot girl summer anymore. So, I need to get in and get with somebody so that, I can make it through this winter. There are a lot of people out there that jump into relationships just to have something to do. And that's not the reason to get into a relationship with anyone. So don't allow yourself to be fooled by everything that you're seeing, because as I've said before, not all that glitters is gold. Just because you see people posting pictures on social media with their boo doesn't mean that everything's great. It doesn't mean that picture that you're seeing with their smiling girl, they could have just finished fighting about something. He could be cheating on her. It could be all kinds of things going on behind the scenes that we don't see from that viewpoint. So don't let social media even get you to feeling some sort of way because you feel like everybody else has somebody and you're the only one who doesn't. Let me tell you, there's a lot of us out here who are single. There are a lot of single women that are feeling the same way that you do, but they're not going to settle. And that, Carla, is the best advice that I could give you. Don't settle. Don't allow yourself to feel like you have to have this man attached to you in order to be whole. Be whole. Get whole for yourself. You have to become the best version of you for you. And the best way to do that is to take care of you. This letter couldn't have been more timely because during this holiday season, I am talking about self-care. And girlfriend, when I tell you, we need to take care of us. We need to acknowledge the things that we need, and we need to be prepared to give those things to ourselves. We need to surround ourselves with people who we know love and appreciate us. And when we get to a point that we have become so comfortable in our own skins, you will take yourself out on a date. Some of the best dates I've ever had, I'm talking about from a mental health perspective, were when I took myself out on a date. I can remember my bestie when she had gone through a breakup, and she went through like months and months and months of self-care. That's all she did. She did things that she wanted to do, how she wanted to do it, when she wanted to do it. She took herself out to dinner. She took herself out to the movies. It's okay to do that. I did it. I can remember when I was probably in my 20s, and I was going to this movie theater in downtown Indianapolis when I lived there. And it was I can't remember the name of it now, but it was one of those places that you go and you have food and everything, and they brought it to you. And this was like a while ago, and they would do that. And it was like the place to go. And I can remember being in line, I had my popcorn. I'm just standing there, and I was surrounded by either families or couples. And I remember hearing this lady that was standing behind me, and she was like, I heard her say, "Oh, is she by herself? She's so pretty. I can't believe she's by herself." It's okay. Because guess what? I went to the movie. Nobody was chewing in my ear. Nobody was interrupting my flow when I was watching the movie, asking me questions or trying to be flirtatious or anything like that. Nope. I went to the movie. I saw the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I ate what I wanted to eat, and I went home. And I was just as fulfilled as if I had gone with someone else, because I was doing that for me. When I would take myself out to have a steak dinner, I was doing that for me because I deserve that. And here's the thing. When you start treating yourself the way you know you deserve to be treated, whenever a man comes into your life, Carla, you've already raised the bar. Because if you can do these things for yourself, when you can practice self-care and you can take care of Carla, then the next man that comes into your life is going to have to at least do what you can do for you. And the man that can do that, the man that is so in tune to you, that he gets you and he understands the things that make you feel better and the things that you enjoy, and he can add those things. See, you're already good in here because now you know what you deserve. You know who you are. You know whose you are. Your confidence will increase. Your self-esteem will increase. And the next time you get into a relationship, you're going to make sure that it is balanced. It's balanced. You're balanced. He's going to have to be balanced. And the expectations that you set, the boundaries that you set, all of these things will become clear to you when you start doing for yourself, when you start practicing self-care, when you take yourself to get a massage, When you recognize that your body is tired and you know what, all I want to do now is to sit down here with my blanket and a glass of wine, and I'm going to watch Lifetime all day long. And I don't have to hear nobody talking about why you watching that player hater station. No, it's all about you. And don't you think you deserve that? You can get through anything when you recognize your worth. And the best way to recognize your worth is to take care of yourself by acknowledging the things that you like, that you want, that you need, and making sure that you give them to yourself. And when you do that, Carla, the next thing that I need you to do as you're preparing for these holidays is to take a moment and just breathe. Just breathe. How many times, just honestly, just think about the times that you've spent thinking about that relationship and it's getting you bothered and you're feeling a certain way. And all you can really remember is that I'm thinking about this and it's gotten me all bundled up. Your muscles are tight. You're focused on that to the point you're not even breathing. But when you practice inhaling and exhaling, that is self-care. Breathe. And when you do, all those thoughts start to dissipate because you're focused and you're concentrated on breathing. We need to breathe. We need to breathe more. We're so busy going and doing and thinking and being and trying to be this for that person and all of those things that sometimes we have to say, time out. That's enough. I have to acknowledge what I need. And Carla, what you need right now is self-care. You need to practice self-care. You need to think about all the things that you like to do that in that relationship you never did because it wasn't something that he liked to do. And you need to do those things. And you need to pat yourself on the back. And you need to stop and say, wait a minute, I dodged a bullet here. Because if this person could take 5 years of my life, 5 years of my life, never get down on a knee, and treat me the way that he treated me in a way that made me feel so bad, I dodged a bullet. Because what if you were still with him and now you've got to go to your family's house and fake it? How many people during the holidays that you've seen, even in your own family, are faking it? They're faking this relationship for the holiday, for the sake of others. They're putting on a brave face, knowing that they're dealing with all kinds of foolishness back at the house that nobody knows about. So, Carla, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay this holiday. And you're going to do everything for you that you've needed to do for a long time and you've neglected. No, you're not going to neglect Carla anymore. You're going to do everything that you want. You're going to build the life for yourself that you want. And when you do that, that confidence, girl, it's going to wash over you so tough that when you go out, people are going to notice you. They're going to notice that confidence. They're going to notice that shine. And it's going to be that very thing that attracts to you the very thing that you need. Not just the person, but everything that you need and you want can be attracted to you based off of what you expect for you. based on your confidence in your abilities, based on your knowledge that you are enough, based on the fact that you know you've got it all together and you know what you're worth and you know how you look and you know who you are and you know what a good woman you are. And you know that a man that finds you, he's getting a good thing. So think on that and don't worry about him. Because trust and believe, Carla, one of these days, real soon, he's going to be thinking about you. Yeah, he's going to be thinking about you once you've moved on and you found that person that is going to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And guess what, Carla? She's already here. You look in the mirror and you're looking at the person that knows who she is and what she's worth. And then when you attract the man to you that you deserve, oh, your girlfriend, he'll be sitting back there after he hears about you moving on. And one day it's going to hit him how good he had it, what a good woman he had, and how he messed up. And that in and of itself, girl, that's the best revenge. You don't have to worry about doing a thing. It's already done. Karma is like a boomerang. It will come back to you, and it's going to come back to him as well. But in the meantime, you will have long forgotten it, and you will have moved on, and you will be thankful that you did. So ladies, let's take the advice for Carla and let's apply it to your situation, knowing that you are enough. It's been a pleasure, my treasures. This is Sage Hill, and this has been the Social Sage Podcast.